Hello, I'm Perry McCants, and this is Aspect. Welcome to the show. This episode is going to entail what a day is like on the road doing deliveries in Fedex, and I have my 5 top tips of how to deliver fast and effective. I wanted to welcome everybody into what I do during the day, and hopefully that those that are looking to drive for FedEx one day can learn something from it. Hopefully I can give you enough information that encourages you to go ahead on a try if you want to know what FedEx driving for FedEx Ground is like, or FedEx Express, or whichever one you choose. I've been driving for FedEx now about a year and a month, and I will tell you that it's definitely a learning process. There was a lot of mistakes made along the way. I thought I could do things my way. I had to learn the hard way. And I found out that the moment you actually apply the tips that I'm about to give, you will definitely pick them up and learn from them. And a lot of people didn't necessarily give me tips. Those that did give me tips, for some reason I didn't listen. You could say that in a lot of ways I like to learn stuff on my own, which is fine, but at least apply them if somebody's giving you the information that you need in order to do this job. Just to let you know, some of the things that I will be talking about for this FedEx edition is how to properly pack your truck. There's 2 different ways to do it. Another thing I'm going to be talking about is how to drive in difficult areas. So I will be going to various areas in Pennsylvania. And some of the areas of Pennsylvania is Doylestown, Buckingham, and New Hope. Like, these areas are rural areas and farm areas. So a lot of the areas that I drive in is stretched out. And so I want to give tips to those that have those areas and don't quite know how to get faster. I plan on letting you know what you have to do in order to get quicker each stop. Another thing I want to mention that's very helpful is taking a marker and writing on the side of the box. They have stickers and things like that they put address and information on it, names and stuff like that, but sometimes the print is too small. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well. So hopefully you stick around with me, and thanks for coming to the channel Aspect. I appreciate you stopping by. I hope that you watch the entire video, because I do have some informative information for you. I'm not just doing this just for the sake of doing it, but I've done it for a while and feel like I have something to give. And I'm sure that I'm going to take you for a ride of how to do these deliveries. Now, as I mentioned earlier, as I was headed towards my my route, when I typically get in the morning, I have packers that packs the truck, but one of the things that I think is important is to go behind them and check to see where they put your packages and how they stock them on the shelves. I'll get to that in a moment. But one of the things that made me much quicker, the more I became better at doing the stops, is how I look at and check behind whoever packs your truck. Even if you're packing it yourself, you got to have a plan for the whole day. The plan for the whole day is how you get faster. So I'm gonna just show you really quick. Now, when I came in this morning, particularly, if you notice, I'm just about half my route. I'm into half my route, and the first thing that I want to show you is that they have these stickers on here with the addresses on them, and things like that. One of the things that I recognize is really effective is, if you look down here, I'll take a bunch of the same addresses and put them all in one section. So without complicating everything and make it very confusing, the fastest way to get you through your route is to have a plan. Like, for instance, this street and this street, they all are in the same section. Some trucks go by numbers and they put everything in the same number order. It's kind of the same thing, but it has some differences to it. But what makes it more effective is when you can just come down here. For instance, these 2 are the same and this over here are in the same area. So when you're stocking your truck, basically what's happening is you have a plan for it. I know that down here on the floor, these particular boxes here are extremely heavy, so I laid them on top of one another. They're all going to the same stop. When I get to that stop, as you see here, I'll be able to pick the door up and just push them out and get them out, and I have the dolly in the back there. So this is one particular way that I know for a fact that your day could be much more effective and quicker, is pretty much how you put every package in the same area. So that you can get through your route much easier. Alright, One of the things I did want to give tips on is, depending on where you're doing your route, take for instance, I'm in a rural area, or what some might like to call farm area. So I'm going to spin this around so you can kind of get a look at the landscape. As you can see here, this is the farm area. And right now, what I'm actually doing, I'm going to try and show you, is I'm backing up down a very, very long driveway here. So I'm going to attempt to show you what's happening, and I'm driving in reverse, of course. So one of the things I want to give when you're driving in reverse is you want to go backwards and use your mirrors. So right now I'm going to be using my voice as I'm filming this. Now if you notice, I'm using my mirrors here, and if you can see the fence that I'm backing up, and making sure that I'm using my mirrors as a guide, basically. See if I can get a better view. And you can kind of see just how far, excuse the fan there, you can just see how far back I have to back up into this property. And you know, to be honest with you, it takes quite a bit of patience. I'm not going to do the whole duration, but one of my tips is I just use my mirrors. And I use my mirrors on both sides. What I'm doing on this side, I do from my right, left to right in the mirror. So that way I'm not bumping into any cars. I'm not backing into any trees like I did when I started. I gotta laugh about that one, because when I first started, I used to roll and go back into some brush or go back into some trees, and it was pretty intense, and to say the least. And it used to take me forever to get stuck and have to put the truck in drive and then get back out again. So just wanted to give you a snippet of this, and this is just showing you one of the tips that I use when I'm backing down a long driveway or something of that nature. I'll show you more in a few minutes, but I don't want to belabor this too long. And when I get to the road, I'll show you that as well. Just before I leave this property, I just want to give you a different perspective of how easy it is to back in to a rural area or a farm area and then drive out. The speed is different, so I'm going to show you the distance so you can get a better understanding of what I mean. So those of you who are learning and getting more experience such as driving, if you notice here, I'm able to come forward with no problem and a lot more speed. And the reason why this is important, because as you begin to deliver, you know, packages to areas like this rather, and areas that I'm in every day, it makes you faster. So I can speed up if I want to. I can do. I don't suggest going 40, but I would say at least 10 to 15 miles an hour back down to the edge of the property. And I'll continue a little later and show you some more things. I'm now in my most challenging and favorite part of my route. It is called River Road. So what I want to do is I actually want to show you some of the footage and area. Now this is a pan zoom here. I just want to kind of give you all a overall landscape of where I deliver packages. As you can see here, I'm walking and overlooking River Road going into Point Pleasant, and down here is the river, so that you can kind of get an understanding of where I have to deliver packages all day long. And just as I said before, this is what actually got me to be more proficient delivery person. I'm not in the city, as you can see. They got me out here in the sticks. They have me out here in the farm area, as I stated before, not to be repetitive, but for those of you that are in the tough areas, you know, definitely leave a comment and sharing your stories if you have some. Maybe one day I'll do a video explaining some of the little mishaps, if you will, that I had experienced out here. But a little later on, I'll show you some of the roads that I have to deliver on or drive on and show you what that's like. And then, of course, I'll be wrapping up pretty soon. All right. One of the things that I wanted y'all to understand in terms of driving in the mountains, I'm headed into Old Carversville. So I'm going to turn the camera around and just show you what a drive on this mountainside road is like. All right, so I'm coming up here, and it's not so much that it's difficult, but it's more so developing and learning your area. Like for instance, right now I'm driving, and it don't take nothing for someone to come around this corner, and we're head on with one another. Okay. So my advice is, most of the time learning this road, as you can see how big a FedEx truck is, ordinarily it takes up this entire road. So if a car comes right now, what I would have to do is I would have to back up for probably about a half a mile, drop backwards, right? So which is an inconvenience for time when you're trying to deliver packages. However, when it comes to my area, I have to do it. I have no choice. If I have to back up for a half a mile, or as you see, I'll show you to my left, this address here, you can pull in here and then pull out. So the other part of the mountains that I wanted to explain to people that's dangerous is there's no guardrails. So, and it's gravel on the ground. I'll look here and pull up a little bit. So because there's no guardrails in the mountains, when you're driving a FedEx truck, you can slide right off the edge if you're not careful, because there's gravel on the ground, right? So I have to be extra careful. So now I've been doing this for a little while now. I'm more confident. So my advice to those that are driving in areas like these, and for a sidebar, I know most of y'all thinking, man, this joker is crazy. Yeah, when it comes to family, you'll do just about anything, and that's what I do for my family every day. So again, this goes to those who are actually wanting to learn how to drive more proficient in certain areas without killing themselves. Like I said, I drive somewhat about maybe 15 to 25 miles an hour. I'm driving at this speed now because I'm doing the video and I don't want to kill myself. So I just wanted to show you what it's like in these areas that, you know, people live in the mountains, and how difficult it is. Like, I'm gonna show you over here. I can drive right over here, and there's nothing to stop this truck from going over the edge. So I just want to drop that in there and let you know that the only tip that I have is that you familiarize yourself with your area, make sure you master it. Of course, you're doing it every day, so you'll get it over time. And after this, I will be wrapping this video up, and thanks for listening. Oh, just to let you know, I have a truck coming up right now, and as you can see, I have to back up and try and see if he can squeeze by. If I don't let him by, we both will be at a standstill right now. So, and this person is actually going in here. Hey, caught me at the exact right time, man. Thank you. So that was one of my customers, and as you saw, we could have gone on head collision, if I didn't pull over and let him get by. But this is what happens daily with me in the mountains. So once again, you know, I wanted to put this snippet in here for you of off of River Road, what life is like every day in my life driving FedEx Ground. So I'll show you a little bit more here. And on a joking side, do you think you would have the heart to drive in the mountains in a FedEx truck? Definitely let me know in the comment section. Would you be up for this if you had to do this? If you had to do everything you had to do and this was your area to deliver packages in, would you actually do this? This is one tip that I would like to add. This will greatly improve your timing when you are going house to house or business to business when you're doing your deliveries. All right, so what helped me be more proficient and quick This is my handheld, and I'm about to make my delivery.
Delivery instructions, customer EQ, side door, none.
All right, so it's letting me know where to leave the package. And the reason why I'm showing this is because it's very, very paramount that when you're doing your deliveries that you don't leave this window. So let's say if you drive like a block down, you could look at it and it's letting you know what's the next stop. The bad habit I used to do is do this, come out of it and get rid of it, and then forget what the next stop is, look down at the box and know, okay, which package is it? Is it this one or is it this one? So instead of that mistake, you can always refer back to your handheld. As you see, I took it from business and put it on house. I know where I'm going now. So that's just one more tip I wanted to let you know about, that helps you greatly improve how fast you move house to house. Some people's memory are great, but I can tell you right now, my memory is the worst. I have the worst short-term memory ever. So I have to do that so that when I look at the handheld, I know exactly where I'm going next. I need to know where I'm going ahead of time. One of the tips that I would like to give is that during the day, I do a number system. So if you notice, I put each hour down, and I show or keep track of how many stops I do an hour. If you see here, it's a little slow today due to me shooting some of the videos, so they have to account for that. But if you see here in an hour, I was able to produce and do 17, 12 here, and some of them I didn't calculate. But the idea is the reason why I'm giving this tip to do this, or things like where the pickups are. Alright, I am now back at the terminal. I want to show you the interior of the truck. As you can see, it is completely empty. All the rows, there's nothing left in here but the pickup packages you see here. And this is going to conclude the FedEx edition on Aspect. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Thanks for clicking on this video. And let me know if this video was informative, if you learned something from this video, and if you'd like to see more. To be honest with you, regardless of whether you like this video or not, I'm going to keep producing videos. But I appreciate it if you do stop by. And if you like this video, let me know and I'll produce more videos like this. Take care.